subscribe to that channel. It helps the algorithms and pushes my video forward so more people could actually know about my channel. It suggests my channel to a lot of different people out there to see my content. So it helps a lot if you actually subscribe to my channel and keep clicking the like button and subscribing. It's just making my channel grow and increase in my reach. And I thank everybody for tuning in and supporting my channel. My channel's doing really good. I interviewed Yanquiel Rivera yesterday, and I shared the video. It's all over social network, YouTube. Just check it out whenever you get a chance. Yanquiel Rivera basically told me that since he has the draw, he has like 3 months to recover from the completely in the inside part with his eye, with the stitches that he had to get. But he said that he will be ready to fight before the year's over in December, and he didn't lose his ranking despite the draw, the controversial draw with Angelino Cordova, who doesn't know how to throw combinations. He fights with his head. So basically, the fight, he might get the rematch immediately with Angelino Cordova, or if he doesn't get a rematch immediately with Angelino Cordova, he'll get a fight with one of the interim champions. It doesn't necessarily have to be Angelino Cordova again. But from what I spoke with him about, he basically told me that he can fight one of the interim champions. It doesn't have to necessarily be Angelino Cordova, but he would like to have that fight immediately because, you know, he definitely is superior to him. He believes he's superior to him, and that he fought with his head, and he was pulling him in, and there was round 4, round 2 where Yanquiel Rivera actually stunned him, and he hit him with a right hand to the body and a right hand to the face, and then immediately after that, Angelino Cordova grabbed him and tried to pull him down, and that's the reason why Yanquiel Rivera pushed him on the floor. So the clean fighter is Yanquiel Rivera, not Angelino Cordova. He's the one that fought dirty. He gave him like 32 rabbit punches. And if you want to check out that video, that interview, you should check it out. It's a classic, great interview. A lot of great moments we had together in that interview. And he's gonna fight for the championship. When he fights this year, the end of this year, around December, it's possible he could fight in Puerto Rico in any card any big main event they do in Puerto Rico, like with Xander Zayas or Subriel Matias, because we don't know if Subriel Matias is going to fight in December or November, because you know that, as you already know, the Fresh Production Boxing has won the purse bid, and I'm going to get into that in a few seconds. But Yanquiel Rivera, in the interview, I also asked him if he lost his ranking, and he said no, he didn't lose his ranking. He still has his ranking in the WBA, WBC, and the IBF, so he's still able to fight for the interim, any champion. It could be anyone. It doesn't necessarily have to be Angelino Cordova, but he is negotiating to see, well, not him, but MVP and Peter Khan. They already they united, and they actually spoke about possible fights, but they don't know exactly who they have on the table for him. But any of the ranked interim fighters that, you know, because Angelino Cordova is number 2. He's ranked number 2, and Yanquiel Rivera is ranked number 1. So he could fight with number 3, 4, or 5 interim fighters that are ranked in the interim. So that could be happening, possibly in December. And then I asked him if he was going to unify if he was going to fight the unified champion, Sandoval, you know, if he's going to fight him. And he told me that it's possible that he can fight him at the beginning of next year, or if he wants to fight him earlier, he might just get the fight directly, the WBC and WBA championship instead of the interim. That's what he told me. That's what he alluded to, that anything is possible. So if you want that interview, check it out. But yes, Fresh Production Boxing has defeated and KO'd Eddie Hearns' Matchroom, gave Eddie Hearns' Matchroom an uppercut by offering $1.9 million for the fight to be staged in Puerto Rico. Fresh Production Boxing is a Puerto Rican boxing promotion. Nobody saw that one coming. because it's a regional boxing promotion from Puerto Rico, but they actually showed that they're real players in the game, and they surprised Eddie Hearns Matchroom, and they won by offering $1.9 million to have rights to the fight and to bring the fight in Puerto Rico, and Matchroom offered 1.7 million. So, and they actually knocked out Matchroom with an uppercut. Fresh production boxing from Puerto Rico. No one expected a regional promotional company from Puerto Rico would defeat such an established company like Matchroom. But you know what? A lot of people don't realize that Fresh Boxing Promotion started in 2012, and they've been establishing themselves. And with Subriel Matias, that is their biggest fighter on their roster, and they have great relationships with their fighters. And based on what Yanquiel Rivera told me in the interview yesterday, he said that that if the promoter didn't have a great relationship with Subriel Matias and didn't really care about him, he would have not put the $1.9 million to stage the fight in Puerto Rico so Subriel Matias can have another opportunity to defend his belt in front of his people of Puerto Rico in his home country, because he would have allowed the fight to go to England if he didn't really love or care about Subriel Matias. Yanquiel Rivera said that he would have allowed the fight to be outbidded by Matchroom and the fight to go be staged somewhere else, like in England or Saudi Arabia. So, you know, I feel like this victory right here is proven to the world and to people in Puerto Rico and people that don't believe that Puerto Rican boxing is growing, and people that don't believe that Puerto Rican boxing has, male players in the promotional part, because Puerto Rico is an unincorporated territory. A lot of people underestimated that a company from Puerto Rico could beat a company like Eddie Hearns Matchroom, but ironically, that's what happened. And I feel like, Fresh Production Boxing made a huge statement. And, when it comes to, this is what I'm going to say. I'm going to say it like this. Eddie Hearns from Matchroom lost by an uppercut. I think he gave him a hook. I think Fresh Production Boxing gave Eddie Hearns Matchroom a hook and knocked him out. And then he's going to try to recover. And then he gave TURKI ALISHIK an uppercut. Fresh Production Boxing gave TURKI ALISHIK an uppercut and knocked him down too. So I'm going to describe that in different elaborate terms. I'm just saying that so you could enjoy the analogy and the boxing aspect of it. But I'm going to say it now in a different way. TURKI ALISHIK, if you notice, after Subriel Matias beat Alberto Puello, in the post-fight interview, I astonishingly and surprisingly, Dalton Smith just popped up out of nowhere with TURKI ALISHIK, and they were asking Subriel Matias if he was going to give him a rematch, what was his plans, and Subriel Matias was about to say that he was going to fight Puello and give him the rematch, because that was what they agreed to in the contract before the fight, that Subriel Matias would give Alberto Puello a rematch. He was about to say that, and as soon as he was going to discuss his plans, TURKI ALISHIK rudely interrupted with Dalton Smith and said, "No, you're going to fight in Riyadh in Saudi Arabia with Dalton Smith. This is your next fight." Like saying, like, you don't have no say, you don't decide what you're going to do, I control what you're going to do. So basically, TURKI ALISHIK is in cahoots with Eddie Hearns Matchroom, and they were going to actually make a deal where the fight would take place first in Saudi Arabia, and they were going to give all the advantages to Eddie Hearns' fighter, Dalton Smith, and they were going to accommodate him because they're actually partners. Eddie Hearns and TURKI ALISHIK are partners, and they've TURKI ALISHIK wants to work with the bigger company, Matchroom, and they trust Eddie Hearns and his fighter, and to make a deal where it actually accommodates Eddie Hearns' fighter, Dalton Smith, and TURKI ALISHIK was going to accommodate him the same way he was going to accommodate Shirazi if the fight would have went the distance with Edgar Berlanga, but we all saw what happened with that fight. Edgar Berlanga lost by knockout, so that's not even in the thought process of the hypothetical. If the fight would have went to the decision, what would have happened? Of course, they were going to control if let's say hypothetically speaking, Edgar Berlanga was winning, they were going to ascertain and make sure that Shirazi won, even though he didn't win, because they were going to control how the fight played out by paying the judges, and because if they impose where the fight takes place and they have rights to the fight, like TURKI ALISHIK would have had and Eddie Hearns, everything would have went their way. I'm saying, like, if it was either one involved, that's how it would work out. So in the case with Dalton Smith, they were definitely making sure that they dictate the terms, because the bigger promotion supposedly is Matchroom, not Fresh Production Boxing. But we saw what happened with the purse bid, that Fresh Production Boxing surprised a lot of people. They came out of left field and knocked out Eddie Hearns Matchroom and TURKI ALISHIK, because the first deal that TURKI ALISHIK provided for Subriel Matias was not happy with the deal, because they were going to make sure that Dalton Smith had the right with the judges, and to fight in Saudi Arabia, they were going to make sure that Dalton Smith would get paid more money than Subriel Matias, which is wrong, because Subriel Matias is the champion, and the champion is the one that deserves to have all the things catered to him, because he's the champion. Not saying to cheat, but to actually cater to the champion, because the champion is the one that deserves he's the A side. So what happened was, Subriel Matias didn't like the offer that TURKI ALISHIK provided. So since they rejected the TURKI ALISHIK offer, so it went to purse bids, and I believe that TURKI ALISHIK and Eddie Hearns Matchroom were underestimating Fresh Production Boxing of Puerto Rico, and not even thinking that they had a chance to outbid Matchroom, and I believe that TURKI ALISHIK didn't believe that they would outbid TURKI ALISHIK. But I believe that TURKI ALISHIK has the money to actually try to outbid Fresh Productions, but obviously he didn't want to do that. He let Eddie Hearns do it, and then you saw what happened there. Eddie Hearns put 1.7 million, and Fresh Production Boxing, Juan Urango, who is the CEO and owner of the company, actually put 1.9 million. And that says a lot about how he cares about Subriel Matias, because Subriel Matias always wanted to make up for that fluke the first time when he had the IBF belt in Puerto Rico, where his loss to Liam Pau. So now that he gets he gets another opportunity, and Juan Urango of Fresh Production Boxing made sure that he put the money up to have control over the fight and dictate where the fight's gonna be and how much Subriel Matias gets paid. So he made sure that Subriel Matias gets another opportunity to right the wrong of the first fight when Subriel Matias was the IBF champion against Liam Pau. So now he's the WBC champion. So now Subriel Matias gets to prove what he's made of, and this will be a triple victory when Subriel Matias wins, because when he beats Dalton Smith, knocks him out, he beats Dalton Smith, Eddie Hearns, Matchroom's fighter. He beats his company, Fresh Production, knocks out Eddie Hearns Matchroom in the purse bid deal negotiations, and knocks out TURKI ALISHIK, because TURKI ALISHIK was not willing to put more money. He just wanted to see what would happen between Eddie Hearns Matchroom and Fresh Production Boxing. I guess he thought that Fresh Production Boxing was inferior and was not going to have the leverage that it has. So Fresh Production Boxing, they won against TURKI ALISHIK and Matchroom of Eddie Hearns. And if Subriel Matias wins by knockout or wins against Dalton Smith, which I believe he will win, that'll be a triple victory for Puerto Rico, Subriel Matias, and Fresh Production Boxing, which shows what we're made of. Jaden Matthews, how you doing, my brother? Hi. Jaden Matthews, my #1 fan in here, just tuned in. Subscribe to that channel. Tony also knows boxing. It helps the algorithms. Subscribe to the channel. Don't be afraid to click that like button. Don't be afraid to subscribe. My channel is growing, and the more people that subscribe, the more it enhances my suggestions for my videos, and the algorithms keep increasing like the way they have been increasing, and it keeps growing. The channel keeps growing, and we want great content, great boxing content, not fake news or fake exaggerated material that just to get clickbait. This is the real deal over here. So tune into the channel, subscribe, click that like button. So yeah, Fresh Production Boxing has proved that Puerto Rico's from now on is a major player and the biggest boxing promotion in Puerto Rico besides Universal Promotion, which is also another big boxing promotion. But we never seen Universal Promotion put more money than a major established promotional company like Eddie Hearns Matchroom. So this is a huge statement and a huge victory for Puerto Rican promotion boxing, that we are a force to be reckoned with. And we proved it by showing with Juan Urango's company, Fresh Production Boxing, actually winning the purse bid by 1.9 million to 1.7 million by Matchroom. So these people, Turkey ALISHIK, I know is not happy with this because he's all about control. Turkey ALISHIK is all about controlling the dictating the narrative, where the fight's going to take place, and under his guidance and under his control and where the fight takes place, he wants to have control of the fighters and the venue. So the venue being in Puerto Rico, it actually changes things a lot, and I believe that they can't rob Subriel Matias if it goes to the decision, because Subriel Matias has the leverage as the champion. He's fighting in his hometown, and thanks to his great promotion, Fresh Production Boxing of Puerto Rico, who a lot of people didn't give a chance to actually outbid Matchroom of Eddie Hearns Matchroom or go against Turkey ALISHIK, which is something that is worth celebrating, because now it shows that Puerto Rico is a major player. Puerto Rican promotion is a major player in boxing, and this is only going to further Puerto Rican boxing, and prospects that are coming out of Puerto Rico are going to have an opportunity to actually grow and be in major fights, and the major company like Fresh Production Boxing will be able to control the narrative, the venues, and they'll be able to have the flexibility and money and reputation to actually outbid other major companies that nobody thought they would be able to outbid. So that's great news. This is great news. And in other news, Teofimo Lopez, you know how he's been talking so bad about Puerto Rican boxing, saying that today's boxers of Puerto Rico are easy to beat and they're not good. And then he's saying that the Puerto Ricans are easy to beat. He don't care who he offends. If he offends Puerto Ricans, he doesn't care. So now he's eating crow. He's saying things like his last comment, he said something really, really good and positive about Oscar Collazo. He said Oscar Collazo is the best fighter in the world and in Puerto Rico. He sent a text message or a message on his, I think it's on his social media, and he basically gave high praise to Oscar Collazo, who is a great fighter. I think he's 115 pound division, and he's 12-0, and I think he's 12-0 with 11 KOs, and he's a two-time champion, and he's really, really, really talented. And so now he's saying that Puerto Rican boxers are great now, because he realizes that Subriel Matias slapped him already, gave him a slap boxing lesson recently. They gave him the slap of the year, and now it kind of knocked some sense into his brain, Teofimo Lopez, and actually made him realize, oh yeah, Puerto Rican boxing is real, it's in effect. And I don't know, he probably saw the recent transaction between Fresh Production Boxing of Puerto Rico outbidding Matchroom, who everybody thought Matchroom was going to surpass and override and outbid a regional company like Fresh Production Boxing of Puerto Rico. But what we realize now is that Fresh Production Boxing is not as small as we thought it was, or as small as I thought it was. They actually have the bargaining power, and they proved they are major players in the boxing promotional game and the landscape of boxing. They are a force to be reckoned with. So let's congratulate Subriel Matias. He gets to defend his belt in Puerto Rico. We don't know what venue, but it's definitely going to be in Puerto Rico, but we don't know exactly what venue. But Subriel Matias, it gets to right the wrong in this fight. And I feel like Dalton Smith is underestimating Subriel Matias, and he's really cocky. His approach, the way he talks. I mean, he's supposed to be confident, but there's a cockiness to him. I think he's underestimating Subriel Matias, and that's going to be his downfall, and that's going to be his detriment. That's going to be detrimental to his health. And I think that Subriel Matias is gonna beat him, and he's going to knock him out. He's going to stop him. Either way, it's going to be a competitive fight, but I believe Subriel Matias is motivated even more than ever, and now he has more leverage. He has a boxing promotion like Fresh Production Boxing that has leverage now, and their reputation has grown to a position where they are major players now, and they are able to leverage and outbid other major promotional companies that we thought were as major as the most that can be in boxing promotion. Boxing promotions that we thought were the biggest, like Matchroom, we realized that they're not the only big promotional companies. We realized that companies from Puerto Rico like Fresh Production Boxing is actually paving the way for other promoters in Puerto Rico to step their game up. And I feel like Universal Promotion is behind them, and they're doing a great job, but they need to focus more on letting the fighters get the shine instead of the people that are interviewing the fighters. You see, when I interview my fighters that I love, that I appreciate, like Yanquiel Rivera, Abisael Cotto, I let them shine. I give them a chance to shine. I don't cut them off. I let them tell their story. And of course, I get to shine by asking them the questions that not many people dare to ask, and asking questions with the charisma that I have and the boldness that I have. And that's what makes a great interview on both ends. But I can't make it about myself because I got the boxers on my show so people can know more about them. It's not only about me, it's about the boxers that I bring to my show and for people to hear their stories. So I noticed that a lot of people, when they interview boxers, they don't let the boxers actually talk and tell their story. The interviewer makes it more about themselves. And that's what Universal Promotion interviewers, like they actually make it more about themselves, and they should make it more about the fighters. But I still support Universal Promotion, and I just feel like Fresh Production Boxing has proven that they are the ahead in all the promotions in Puerto Rico right now. But I believe those two promotions are really good, Universal Promotion and Fresh Production Boxing. Hey, Art of Boxing for you. What up, Tony? If I send you an email so we can hook up. Yeah, my brother. I'm down to do a collaboration with you, Art of Boxing for you. I appreciate you tuning in. Subscribe to the channel. Check out my Yanquiel Rivera interview and my Abisael Cotto interview. You will really enjoy it. I interviewed Yanquiel Rivera 2 times, and I interviewed Abisael Cotto 1 time. But I'm doing this. I'm gonna keep interviewing these fighters and other fighters as well, other future prospects from Puerto Rico, like Manuel Febus. I'm supposed to interview him as well. Yeah, I know. I saw it. It was good. It was a good interview. I saw what you did. You're doing your thing, man. Like, I appreciate that. And that's great. That's great. You're getting your opportunity. It's only going to help your channel grow. And yeah, like I'm trying to do lives with people, but the problem is that I'm having trouble inviting people on my YouTube. So I do this. I don't want to say how I do it, but I do the live first, and then I post it later after I record it, because I'm having trouble with YouTube Live inviting people. But yeah, man. Yeah, I would like to, maybe you could invite me on your show when you have Stephanie Peñero, and if you want me to help or interject or whatever. And I'm very respectful. I'm not gonna come like some of these other boxing content creators that are disrespectful. I'm respectful. I'm not gonna violate. I'm gonna respect you. I'm in your channel, and I'm gonna collaborate with you. I'm down for that. Art of Boxing for you. What up, Tony? I send you an email so we can hook up. I did it already. Okay, it was good. You saw the interview that I did with Abisael Cotto and Yanquiel Rivera. The two interviews with Yanquiel Rivera before the fight with Angelino Cordova and after the draw, the controversial draw. Did you see that? And I also did an interview with Abisael Cotto. One interview. No, I did two, but the one interview I did with Abisael Cotto on Facebook, I thought I could record it, but I didn't, so I had to do another one. But it worked out fine. So check them out. Art of Boxing, thanks for tuning into my channel. God bless you, my brother, and I appreciate you tuning in. Art of Boxing for you, number one. I saw with Yanquiel. I saw both. It was good. I appreciate you, my brother. Thanks for tuning into my channel. Yeah, we could collab. We could do something. Let me know what's up. Like, do it in advance so that way I can prepare. Because, you know, my schedule's crazy. But, yeah, we could do something. We could do something together. We could do a collaboration. Why not, you know? Subscribe to that channel. Tony also knows boxing. The algorithms are growing. A lot of people tuning in. I'm getting to 1,000 real soon. Check out those interviews. September 12th. Yeah, September 12th, Abisael Cotto's fighting a Mexican. I don't know his name, but that's the recent news that I got from Opinión Dividida. They interviewed Abisael Cotto. That's one of my favorite fighters and my good friend, who I really appreciate him giving me the interview. And Yanquiel Rivera is supposed to fight in December. He's gonna heal by that time. His eyes is mostly healed, so he's gonna be coming back in December, fight for the interim, and then possibly fight for the championship fight in early next year. So yeah. So there's other news. There's a Cuban fighter by the name of Oslis Iglesias. He's 14-0 with 13 KOs. He beat Vladimir Shishkin in the 8th round knockout. Vladimir Shishkin never been knocked out, and he lost to William Skoll, the fighter that fought Canelo, and Canelo couldn't really catch him that much. He was kind of like a fly. Like, you try to hit a fly, and the fly moves away, and it's hard to hit. He was like that. Yeah, so this guy made an impressive statement by, his name is Oslis Iglesias. He's a 168-pounder, and he did I gotta check out the fight. I saw clips, but I want to see the whole fight. But he's the goods. He's the truth, and he called out Canelo. He called out Canelo after the fight, and then he said I don't think that if Canelo doesn't want to fight me, it's because he knows I'm a young fighter, and I remind him of him when he was younger, so he won't give me the opportunity. But his promoter was saying he'll fight anybody, Munguia, Caleb Plant, and then he said Belanga is not even on the level. So they said that he's not even in the level. So they said that they've been kind of made fun of Belanga because they don't think that he's on that level, and I don't think he's on that level. Really, I don't, man. He cares more about how he looks than actually improving his boxing IQ. Frontline, what's going on, my brother? Number 2, Tony and Chat Familia. What's going on, my brother? Thanks for tuning in. I remember seeing you on my channel. Frontline. You're a regular, man. I appreciate you coming back in. You're my family. All of you are my family. Art of Boxing for you. All of you, man. Art of Boxing for you, number 1. That was a whipping. Yeah, I want to check it out. I saw the clips, but I didn't get to actually see the whole fight, so I'm going to check that out. But he looks like he's the real deal. Frontline number 2. We got Pitufo Diaz tomorrow versus Nunez for the IBF. Yeah. That's another one. Like, Pitufo Diaz has been around for a while, and, he's been inactive. I don't know who's going to win, but he's always a force to be reckoned with. Pitufo Diaz is a serious contender, or he's a serious fighter. He's actually, he gives his all. When he gets in the ring, he gives his all. He has some IQ. Sometimes he gets reckless, but he has an opportunity to win. Mexico has been done before. So I believe that Pitufo Diaz is going to be a good matchup between Nunez and him. And I believe that the fight is going to be competitive, but we don't know what Pitufo Diaz we're going to have in the ring because he hasn't been fighting for a while. And you can never count him out because he always brings his A game. But, Nunez is younger, and he got 1 loss. I believe he got, 28 wins. I think he has like 28 wins and 25 knockouts. I know he has a lot of knockouts. I saw his record on BoxRec, but I forgot how many fights he actually has. Art of Boxing for you, number one. And the fight with Joanly Hernandez beat that Japanese guy. It was good too. Yeah, man, these fights, man. There's a lot of fights taking place. Frontline number one. Yeah, 28 wins, 27 knockouts, right? Yeah, I was close. I think I said the right amount, right? I was close. Yeah, Frontline. Thank you for that information. But yeah, that's a good fight. That's a really good fight. You know what's gonna be a good fight as well? On November 22nd, Bam Bam is gonna fight for a unification against Martinez. And that's going to be very interesting. I think they fight at the 115-pound division. And they're going to unify the titles. I think his name is Cesar Martinez, I think, if I'm not mistaken. I know his last name is Martinez, the unified champion. I think he has 2 belts, Martinez, and he's going to fight Bam Bam. He's going to fight him. So Bam Bam has a belt. And I believe when they fight, they're going to unify their belts. And that's going to be interesting. And I would like to see Yanquiel Rivera fight Bam Bam. That would be interesting. And he says that that's what he wanted originally. That's what Yanquiel wanted. But he's going to get... Yanquiel Rivera has great opportunities with the interim champion by the end of this year. In the beginning of the year, he's going to fight possibly Sandoval. If Sandoval is still the champion, whoever's the champion at WBC and WBA, that's who he will fight next year. His promotion is working really hard, keeping him busy, and he's going to be champion. Yanquiel Rivera, that's a great brother right there. I appreciate him too. Art of Boxing for you. Andy Cruz was the fight I was talking about versus the Soon for Yanquiel versus Bam Bam. Yeah, that's going to happen. So you're saying Andy Cruz, that's the Cuban guy, right? Andy Cruz was the fight I was talking about versus the Japanese guy. Yeah, did that happen recently? I must have missed that fight, but I've been so busy, but there's a lot of fights taking place, but you know, I'm trying to keep up with all the fights, and you know me, I always give you the great content. I always try to stay informed, up to par with everything. Frontline, in my opinion, is too soon for Yanquiel versus Bam Bam. You might be right or you might be wrong. I feel like Yanquiel Rivera is the truth, and I believe he's you haven't seen the greatest of him yet, but I think he's learned from that draw, and I had him winning 9 rounds out of that 12-round fight that he had. I think Angelino Cordova was fighting with his head, hitting him with rabbit punches, like 32 rabbit punches. That's like a lot of rabbit punches, and pushing him down every time that he, that Yanquiel Rivera hurt him, because Yanquiel Rivera hurt him in the 4th round and the 2nd round. In the 4th round, he gave him a right hook to the body and the face, and you could hear Angelino Cordova going like that and holding him, and you could tell he was stunned and he was hurt. That's why he grabbed Yanquiel Rivera. Well, you might be right. I don't know. I feel you give him like 3 more fights, 5 more fights, I think Yanquiel Rivera is ready for anybody. He's the truth, man. Like, a lot of people don't see how skillful he is. He learned from that rugged, messy, dirty fighter, Angelino Cordova. He learned a lot from that fight. How dirty he fought. Like, he never fought anybody like that in his 139 amateur boxing career. He's never fought nobody that's that dirty. He reminds me of Mayorga. The only thing, Mayorga wasn't as dirty as Angelino Cordova. All right. Art of Boxing for you. Yanquiel is a good fighter, but he left the game plan. Let him get in his head. Yeah. Like we discussed that in the interview. He did allow his dirty tactics to frustrate him, but I think he learned from that fight, because if you watch the 1st round, you saw how Angelino Cordova was outboxed and Yanquiel Rivera made him miss. He was coming over all those wild shots. He should have stayed fighting like that the whole fight and not got frustrated, because when he fought him like that, kept him at a distance, it was hard for Angelino Cordova to land anything, even a headbutt. So that's what he had to do, like box him that way, like the way he did in the 1st round of the fight. You saw how Angelino Cordova came charging at him, throwing hooks, uppercuts, and missing and hitting the air, and Yanquiel Rivera just laughing like, cause all he did was move away, dodge, and just outbox him. I believe that he learned from that fight. In those fights like that, you learn, and I believe that Yanquiel Rivera learned from that fight. Frontline, Yanquiel is a dog. Don't get me wrong, but Bam Bam is up level. Remember, Yanquiel started his career late, and he's proving a lot of people wrong. Again, I ride with mine, win or lose. Nah, you got a point. You do have a point. You know, Bam Bam has showed more because he has more fights, but I believe that the best is yet to be seen, and it's gonna come from Yanquiel Rivera. We have not seen the best of him yet. We saw glimpses of his greatness, but he's gonna prove a lot of people wrong even more when he makes his comeback, when he rematches Angelino Cordova or whoever else he fights out of the interim positions, like number 4, number 5, number 3, because he's number 1 and Angelino Cordova is number 2. So he might fight Angelino Cordova in the rematch, or he might fight somebody else in the number 3, number 4 interim championship fight. And then after that, in 2026, he's gonna fight straight for the Sandoval fight. Sandoval, the Mexican guy that beat Kenshiro in Japan. So we're gonna see the best of him when he gets those fights. I believe so. MVP was a good move for Yanquiel. Frontline says MVP was a good move for Yanquiel. MVP will get him to a title quick. Yeah, facts. And I believe that everything happens for a reason, and he's only going to show everybody, he's going to get better, and he's going to show everybody that, you know, that whatever happened in the draw was a learning experience and a learning curve, and he's going to be able to prove a lot of doubters wrong. A lot of people that didn't think he was going to win, he's going to prove that he's going to go far. He's going to prove them wrong. So yeah, Yanquiel Rivera is a great. He's going to be a great champion. Yes, but you're right. Frontline, it might be too soon for him, but I think by the time he gets to the point to fight Bam Bam, he's going to be ready for him. Maybe now he's not ready, but I think by the time he gets to fight Bam Bam, he will be ready. He just needs a couple of more experienced fights, maybe 5 more fights. You know, good, solid fights. Because all the fights that Yanquiel Rivera has had, he had defeated 4 undefeated fighters who had great records. He didn't fight no slouches. He fought great boxing contenders. Like he didn't fight like a Bam Bam, but he's fought. Every fight that he's had hasn't been an easy fight. Hasn't been gimme fights. There were fights that were undefeated fighters, for them undefeated, and he knocked them out. So that says a lot about what Yanquiel Rivera has on the table, and I believe he has more than what we actually seeing. And I see a lot of greatness, his ability. He has it all: boxing, IQ, power. But he had to learn from a fighter like that experience, like Angelino Cordova, who's very dirty tactics that he uses. That was actually something that he didn't see in the 139 amateur fights that he had. So this is a learning curve. We all learn from what we go through. You know, it's how we overcome what we go through, and we go to the next level if we overcome it. You know, so I believe he overcame that. Frontline number 1, I agree. Yanquiel hasn't had it easy. He's been doing his thing, moving through the ranks. Yeah, he's moving fast. He's moving fast, and I believe he's gonna go far. Like, we just have to be patient. Sometimes boxing fans, they don't give the boxers the benefit of the doubt. They go by what they see in one fight, and then they say, "Oh, I don't think he's as good as they say," but he is great. It's just this fighter was fighting with his head, and he wasn't fighting like a boxer is supposed to fight. He was fighting illegal the whole fight. And Salas, his trainer, was actually telling him in the 9th round that this is the way you could beat him, by fighting dirty. So they're all dirty. Salas, his trainer, and Angelino Cordova, they're dirty people, man. They have no dignity. Art of boxing for you, number 2. He learned not to fall for other fighters' tactics. Yep, and stay on his plan on what he does best. Facts. Art of boxing for you. Thanks for the comment. Appreciate you too, Frontline. All of you are making valid points. And yes, Frontline, you're right. Art of boxing for you, you're right. You guys bringing great Great comments, great feedback. I like the feedback, and I agree with you guys. You know, you guys know your boxing. Subscribe to the channel. Tony also knows boxing. You're tuning into my channel. You keep subscribing and clicking the like button. It's gonna raise the algorithms, enhance the algorithms, and suggest my videos to more people. Let me shut this off. Somebody's intruding in my video. Yes. So thanks for tuning into the channel. Subscribe to the channel. What do you guys think about Fresh Production Boxing, the powerhouse of Fresh Production Boxing, and the potential of Puerto Rican boxing promoters being major players in the boxing landscape? What do you guys think? Send me some comments. I truly believe that Puerto Rico is in effect right now. There's something in the air. It's our time. It's Puerto Rican boxing time. There's something in the air that says that Puerto Rican boxing is going to be as great as it was, or even greater, maybe. Let's hope. Because right now we have the connections with Fresh Production Boxing. We was able to outbid a major boxing promotion like Eddie Hearns' Matchroom, and we defeated them. TURKI ALISHIK, he's good for boxing, but I think he wants to control and dictate what the fighters do, where they fight. And he works with the promoters that he feels he can make the most money with, like Eddie Hearns' Matchroom, with Dalton Smith. He was going to accommodate them, and they were going to rob Subriel Matias if Subriel Matias would have fought in England or in Saudi Arabia, because that's what they were trying to do with Edgar Berlanga, with Sharizi, if they would have went the distance. But we already saw what happened with Edgar Berlanga. He got knocked the heck out. So that's irrelevant. But that is the intention. I feel like since they're partners, Eddie Hearns and Matchroom and TURKI ALISHIK, he was gonna help Dalton Smith win. But since Subriel Matias didn't like TURKI ALISHIK's deal, so they couldn't make the fight in Saudi Arabia on November 22nd with the David Benavidez versus Yarde undercard. So then Eddie Hearns' Matchroom had to bid against Fresh Production Boxing, and you saw what happened there. They were going to fight in England, and Eddie Hearns was saying that I think we have the advantage, and we're going to win this purse bid, and I would like to make it in England. And he was basically trying to accommodate Dalton Smith in England, since it didn't work out for Saudi Arabia, TURKI ALISHIK. So Eddie Hearns was going to try to win the purse bid for the fight against Fresh Production Boxing, but he lost. They underestimated the Puerto Rican promotional boxing power of the promotional, the regional promotions in Puerto Rico, like Fresh Production Boxing. They're not as small as I thought they were, and they're not as small as they thought they were. So they underestimated Fresh Production Boxing, and Puerto Rico is gonna have a lot of leverage in future fights with big events, since they were able to, since Juan Urango, the owner of Fresh Production Boxing, was able to put $1.9 million against against Matchroom's $1.7 million. They're going to be able to have leverage, and this is a huge statement that in future fights they are going to be a force to be reckoned with, as far as a promotional company from Puerto Rico that nobody thought would have that kind of standing, and nobody thought they would win against Matchroom. So I believe that Puerto Rican boxing promotion, like Fresh Production Boxing, is going to give great opportunities to future up-and-coming boxers from Puerto Rico, and we're going to be having the leverage to have main event, huge global fights, and have leverage with other companies where we can actually dictate where the fight takes place, or they can respect us as a company, and they can't really try to out hustle us and do us dirty with the judges and give advantages to the other fighters, especially if you have a great strong champion like Subriel Matias. That's what is helping the company, and he's the face of Fresh Production Boxing, Subriel Matias. So now he has to step up to the plate and just do what he has to do, train for the fight, and keep making that company grow its reputation as a major player in the boxing landscape. Fresh Production Boxing, we've proven that. Puerto Rico's in effect. We are proving that Puerto Rico is in the game to stay. We are actually making moves where we're making moves where Puerto Rican boxing promotions are conglomerate promotions, where we can actually stage big events and help Puerto Rico's economy as well. That's another great thing. And it helps Puerto Rican boxing, the future of Puerto Rican boxing. So that's great news. We won by knockout. And we're going to knock out, we already knocked out Eddie Hearns' Matchroom with Production Boxing and TURKI ALISHIK. Nothing against TURKI ALISHIK, but he wanted to dictate the terms and make everything in favor of Dalton Smith because he's partners with Eddie Hearns' Matchroom. So that failed. So it's going to be a triple victory once the fight takes place in Puerto Rico and Subriel Matias gets paid more than Dalton Smith and knocks out Dalton Smith. That's going to be a triple sweet victory for KO. Tony Also Knows Boxing. You're tuning into my channel. Subscribe to that channel. Tony Also Knows Boxing. Subscribe to the channel. Frontline #1, Juan Ivan Orengo puts his money where his mouth is. He believes in his guys. He is a effing bestia. Yes, he is. Respect to Juan Urango. Respect to Juan Ivan Orengo. He's a great promoter, and he loves his fighters. He has a great relationship with his fighters. And Subriel Matias has said that in an interview in Boxeo Urbano with Cesar, he said that Juan Urango has always been there for him, even in his first defeat and his second defeat, and when he was in jail, he actually helped him. And he actually helped Subriel Matias, Juan Ivan Orengo. They call him Jomi. That's the name they have for him, Jomi. And he actually said that Subriel Matias said that Juan Urengo, Jomi, actually has been there for him for the longest. And you know, that company, Fresh Production Boxing, started in 2012. And he used to be a music promoter with reggaeton. Juan Ivan Orengo. He was a music promoter, so he knows what time it is. He's not new to the game as far as business. So that's another reason why I feel like they underestimated him. You know, Fresh Matchroom and TURKI ALISHIK, they don't know his history. They don't know where he comes from. He used to be a promoter for musicians. And so he's not new to the business part, the business aspect of the game. So, you know, the company's growing. And this is great. And Subriel Matias said that Juan Ivan Urango has always been there for him in the tough times, like when he lost his first loss and his second loss. Like, he was upset, but he actually still believed in him, and that's the reason why he put the money, $1.9 million, because he believes in Subriel Matias. He loves him. He has a great relationship with his boxer, and he wants Subriel Matias to get a second opportunity to defend his belt in Puerto Rico, but successfully. And prove to everybody that the first time was a fluke, and that he's going to prove that he's going to have a successful defense in Puerto Rico, defending his WBC belt this time. And he feels that he owed that to Subriel Matias, because Subriel Matias, that's what Subriel Matias really wants, and that's what Yanquiel Rivera told me in the interview. So yeah, Subriel Matias is very grateful to Puerto Rico. He's a proud Puerto Rican, and he's representing Puerto Rico well. He is the face of Puerto Rican boxing when it comes to Fresh Production Boxing. So that's the reason why he's able to have the leverage that he has as well with the strong fighters like Subriel Matias, because we have all these boxing content creators, podcasters like Boxeo Urbano, El Filósofo del Boxeo, Auténtico Boxing, all helping give more promotion to Subriel Matias, and you know, me myself also giving promotion to the Subriel Matias, and a lot of other boxing content creators doing it as well, and it's helping Subriel Matias have leverage in the negotiating table and the fan base level, because his fan base is growing, because a lot of content creators are actually creating content that brings awareness of Subriel Matias, his fights, and more people support because of that. So thanks to all the boxing content creators out there doing their thing. I got to thank myself too. Yeah, but I appreciate everybody tuning in, all the boxing content creators keeping it funky, giving you the great news. Art of Boxing for you, #2. Puerto Rico has produced many world champions, and Puerto Rico has the most boxing champions in the capital of the world. Yep. If people didn't know that from this little island, Del Encanto, those are facts. Puerto Rico produces more world champions per capita than any other country due to its size, 3.5 million people. So we are the ones producing the most champions than any other country per capita due to our size. And Mexico doesn't even produce that many champions, and they're bigger. They're bigger than us. They have a lot of champions, but they don't produce that many champions per 16 million people like Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico produces 16 champions per 1 million people. That's a lot of champions for a small island that's really big. I hate to say Puerto Rico's small because it may be small in size compared to a lot of other countries, but they're big in size compared to a lot of other countries and bigger than a lot of other countries because their heart is big, their pride is big, the culture's big, the way they love people and they treat people with respect. Puerto Rican people are very humble. There's people that say things about Puerto Ricans and stuff. I know there's certain Puerto Ricans that they may say some things that are not right, but most Puerto Ricans are humble. Most Puerto Ricans are humble. That's part of our culture. Decir bendición, buen provecho, mi hermanito. Like we say things like that. We treat people with respect because we want respect as well. You know? So we that's part of our culture. Frontline, number one. Rumors are that Yomi is trying to put his stable on the Super Real card. Yeah. Javier Cintrón, Alfredo Ojo Santiago, and Nestor Bravo. We'll see what happens. Yeah, that's the rumor. They have alluded to that, and I truly believe that the undercard is going to have local Puerto Rican boxers and giving them opportunities to shine. So that's another reason that it's good that they outbidded Matchroom because they get to control what events are going to be in the card. If it would have been the other way around with Turkey, ALISHIK, and Saudi Arabia, and Matchroom in England, it would have had different fighters that are not from Puerto Rico. It would have had fighters from England or Saudi Arabia, etc. Like what they did with Sharizi. They wanted him to win against Belanga, which he did, so he could fight Canelo. But it was all strategically planned with a scheme that if the fight went the distance, they were going to give it to Sharizi even if he lost. But we all saw what happened. Sharizi knocked out Belanga, and that's all she wrote. Yeah. Art of boxing for you, number two. Did you know Puerto Rico's size is like 3 pueblos from Mexico? Yeah. I didn't know that, man. That's good information, though. That's good. I'm gonna look that up. But that is interesting. That is interesting. Art of boxing for you. Thanks for the comment. Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it. Subscribe to that channel. Tony also knows boxing. Subscribe to that channel. Don't be afraid. If you are somebody that's brave, you are going to be willing to subscribe to my channel because you love the truth and you embrace the truth and you're not afraid of it. But people that are offended because I speak my mind and I keep it real, I keep it authentic, you're going to run away from my channel and go to those fake content creators that don't give you the real stories and the real boxing content that I'm trying to give everybody. But yeah, I support brothers like Art of Boxing for you. I support everybody in here, man, tuning in. Frontline, all you guys are my family. I love you guys. Subscribe to the channel. Subscribe to the channel. Tony also knows boxing. You're tuning into my channel. The algorithms are going to keep going up and up, and it's gonna suggest my video to more people, more future subscribers, because the content, when you subscribe and you click like, it makes more people know about it, and YouTube gives a suggestion to watch my videos because more people are engaging in my channel, and that's actually happening. And I thank all you guys for tuning and subscribing and being brave, because all of you have the same common ground like me, sharing the truth with love and respect, and the unity that we have. We're a big community, and we gotta help each other out. We can't be egotistical. Yeah, so we'll see. I would like to do the collaboration with you. Let's set it up. Let me know when. And my schedule's crazy with the interviews that I have, but we can set something up, my brother. Art of Boxing for you. And Frontline, I appreciate you too. Let me read the comment. Number 2. But my take on this and the outcome is going to be Matias Santiago and Bravo fight in the Amanda Serrano fight card. That's what I heard too, that it's going to be either in the Amanda Serrano fight card December, or it could be in November, but in Puerto Rico, of course. But it's one of those dates. I read fall, November, and December. Those are the dates that it could take place in. Let me read Frontline. Art of Boxing, I agree. I also think MVP has something to do with the bidding on the Super Real purse bid. You think so? I didn't see anything about MVP, but let's not take away the credit from Fresh Production Boxing. They actually made a statement, but I don't know. I would have to find that out and research that, my brother, Frontline. But it's great that you're giving me this feedback. But I don't want to take away credit from Fresh Production Boxing because I believe that they are forced to be reckoned with. And I don't know if MVP has something. I don't think MVP has something to do with it. But you never know because we don't know what's going on behind the scenes. But as far as I know, it was Fresh Production that won the bid. So that's what I'm gonna go by based on what I researched. But thanks for the comment, Frontline. Mad respect for that, cause you never know. Art of Boxing for you. I think this will fill the fight for December 13th for the Amanda fight. There will be the best outcome if Yomi hooks up with MVP and makes this happen. That's possible. They've been talking about that, my brother. They've been talking about that Art of Boxing for you. That's something that Yanquiel Rivera alluded to something to that extent. But I don't know for sure. But he just gave hints. He didn't give like specifics. So yeah, so subscribe to that channel. Thanks for tuning in. I must go. And I just appreciate everybody tuning in. Subscribe to the channel. It helps the algorithms and it helps YouTube suggest my videos to more people to subscribe. And the videos are doing well. And thanks to Yanquiel Rivera and Abisael Cotto for allowing me to interviews. I got another boxer that I'm going to bring on my show. And I already talked to Manuel Febus, who's going to fight on the card of September 12th with Abisael Cotto and Saldando Cuenta on September 12th in pay-per-view. So be on the lookout for that. Frontline number 1, I think I'm not saying they did. It just makes sense. Plus, Amanda got on El Filósofo de Boxeo and said she would love for Subriel to be on her card. Yeah, I saw that. I saw that too. I watch El Filósofo, man. He's the man. And we be texting each other. We be sending messages. You know, I'm trying to get on his show. You know, he has a very busy schedule as well, but I respect El Filósofo del Boxeo. He's doing great things, and rest in peace to his mom who passed away. And you know, he gave me a shout out on my messenger and Facebook. We've been talking about trying to collab and do a collaboration. But yeah, subscribe to the channel. Tony also knows boxing. I must go. Peace. Love you guys. Subscribe to the channel. Subscribe to the channel. Tony also knows boxing. Man, this is the longest I've been in a while. 57 minutes. One love. Subscribe to the channel. Tony also.